Hello, loves. Well, it's come to my attention that a lot of you are asking about dating, love, and relationships, especially in this year, 2020, and how weird it all is. So this week I'm going to do a little set of videos about it. And I thought I'd start off with sharing why I talk about, and my coaching work is kind of really focusing around relationships. And it's quite weird because I wouldn't say I was the expert on relationships either. But it's life, and our happiness is all about relationships, and especially the one that we have with ourselves. Hence my coaching program that has helped so many, and I absolutely love. And that's the badass way to love yourself, because of my experience within love and relationships. And when I look back about what went wrong or what didn't work, was because each relationship I've had pressed a button of my childhood pain and issues. Obviously, it didn't start off that way. But in each relationship I've had, I never see them as a failure. I don't see them as failed relationships, because I've really learned and grown from each of them. And I would say they had the same thing too, being in relationship with me. Yeah, for sure. Just sort of running through, I'm gonna be really vulnerable and open, which is always a bit kind of uncomfortable a little bit, but I think it's really important that you understand that I'm not coming from a place from someone that's been happily married for 30 years and married my childhood sweetheart and never had heartbreak. I'm not that person. I'm not that coach. I'm the coach that ran away from a cult at 16 and was completely shunned and continues to be shunned by my family. From there, I married, after a few years, I married someone that was equally as destructive, as someone that was equally as in pain and equally hurting as my mother. And I think that's all I knew back then. So I fell for the love that was offered and the protection, and didn't see that I was actually marrying a prison warden and a very controlling, abusive, manipulative person. I got out of that one. And then fell for a man that I thought was really spiritual. But actually it was a very subtle form of manipulation, to the point that I realised that I was deforming myself to fit his dysfunction. I got out of that one. And I fell for a man that was my final narcissist. And that one, I think you've probably heard me say before, that one nearly killed me. Not physically, but that one nearly killed my soul. Recovering from narcissistic abuse is absolutely dreadful. And you have to learn to rise and rise again. And you have to learn to forgive and let them go. But after a pause, that led me to really a pause from relationships. In that pause, I really faced myself. I had to. And I attracted in a lovely relationship. It wasn't meant to work, but he was really lovely, and he is really lovely. He's a good man. And I realised that I was changing a pattern. And when that relationship had to end, and end on a good level, a loving level, I really immersed myself into me, because I was the only common denominator in all that. And I really had to practice what I preach and throw myself into myself and get to know myself and get to know my stuff. and the stuff that I brought in, my childhood issues I had to look at because my romantic relationships were playing them out all the time. So I really recommend, if you're seeing a pattern in your past loves, take some time out. I took a good 18 months out and before I ventured into another relationship. And this one is completely and utterly different. And do you know why? Because I am completely and utterly different. So I hope that helps. I hope it helps you understand where I'm coming from during the work that I do and the next set of videos that I'm going to do. That I don't come from a place of no heartbreak and just magically knowing how to be in relationship and how to love. No. I come from a place of learning the hard way, and I come from a place of the necessity to deal with your shit and learn to love you first. Speak tomorrow.